Economic disaster, a nation in crisis, your financial future at risk. You hear these warnings every election cycle. But what if it's not just a story? What if it's a deliberate strategy designed to turn your economic anxiety into political power? This is a well-worn three-step playbook politicians use to do exactly that. First, they manufacture a crisis. Second, they create an enemy for you to blame. And third, they present themselves as the only one who can save you. Today, we are unpacking that playbook. Before that though, take a moment and subscribe. From next week, you will see a totally different content with a lot of added value for you. This strategy is deceptively simple because it bypasses your rational brain and targets your most basic survival instincts. Fear-based messaging is incredibly effective at changing behavior, which is why campaigns return to it again and again. The entire strategy is built to make you feel like your financial well-being is under direct, immediate threat. It begins with step 1. Manufacture the crisis. This doesn't mean inventing problems from scratch. Instead, politicians become masters of apocalyptic framing. They take a real issue, like inflation or unemployment, and blow it up into a doomsday scenario. You will hear phrases like economic Armageddon or the end of the middle class to create a sense of sheer panic. They do this by using data selectively. A campaign might broadcast a single month of weak job growth while ignoring a full year of steady gains. They will highlight rising prices for gas or groceries to create the feeling of runaway inflation, even if overall numbers are stabilizing. For example, in 2021, some dismissed inflation concerns as transitory, a political misstep opponents later weaponized to frame the issue as a full-blown crisis that had been negligently ignored. By focusing only on worst-case data and pairing it with dire warning, they paint a picture of an economy on the brink, making voters desperate for a hero. Once you are scared enough, it's time for step 2. Assign blame. Every crisis needs a villain. Complex economic forces are confusing, but a single, identifiable enemy is easy to understand and easier to hate. This is where scapegoating comes in. The enemy could be immigrants blamed for taking jobs, foreign competitors like China accused of ripping off the country, or global elites portrayed as disconnected from everyday people. Often, the blame is placed squarely on the last administration, painting them as either malicious or incompetent. This tactic is psychologically powerful. It boils a complicated world down to a single us versus them story, giving voters a target for their anger. Suddenly, it's not about intricate fiscal policy. It's about defeating a common foe. By painting an opponent as the source of your economic pain, a politician redirects your anxiety towards a simple, emotionally satisfying target. With a crisis set and a villain in place, the stage is set for step number 3. Present yourself as the only solution. After whipping up fear and aiming your anger, the politician steps into the spotlight as the unique savior. They offer a stark choice: vote me or suffer certain economic ruin. The solutions they propose are often vague but always emotionally powerful. These aren't detailed policy plans. They are comforting slogans. Pledges to make the economy great again or protect your savings offer psychological security, even if they lack concrete details. The candidate who stoked the fear now becomes the only one who can make it go away. They promise to be strong where others were weak, fight the enemies they just named, and bring back a nostalgic, mythical version of good times. This final step converts the fear they manufactured directly into votes. You probably have already understood that, but this playbook isn't theoretical. It's been used repeatedly with massive consequences. Two of the most potent examples from the last decade are the 2016 Brexit referendum and the 2016 again US presidential election. Let's start with Brexit. The Vote to Leave campaign was a masterclass of economic fear. The Remain campaign focused on the quantifiable risks of leaving, warning from economists that jobs would be lost and prices would rise, but their opponents quickly branded this as Project Fear. The Leave campaign flipped the script. They reframed economics around identity and a loss of control. They fixated on the 350 million British pounds a week they claimed the UK sent to the EU, a disputed figure plastered on a bus, suggesting this money could instead fund the National Health Service. This created a sense of tangible economic loss. Then they assigned blame. They argued that free movement of people from the EU was straining public services, linking abstract economic anxieties to the visible presence of immigrants and creating a powerful scapegoat. Finally, their solution: take back control. This vague but empowering slogan promised to restore Britain's sovereignty and its economic destiny. A similar pattern played out in the 2016 US presidential elections. Donald Trump's campaign brilliantly targeted economic anxiety in the Rust Belt, states hit hard by industrial decline. First, the crisis wasn't about current data. The economy was actually showing a steady recovery. Instead, it was built on a narrative of long-term decay. Trump painted a picture of American carnage, of shattered factories and a middle class decimated by globalization. The blame was assigned with laser precision. The villains were trade deals like NAFTA, blamed for shipping jobs to Mexico, and China, accused of currency manipulation. Immigrants were also a central target, accused of taking jobs and suppressing wages. This resonated with voters who felt left behind, and while racial anxiety was a powerful driver, those fears were deeply intertwined with these economic arguments. The solution was, again, simple and potent: make America great again. Trump positioned himself as the ultimate deal-maker who could renegotiate trade deals and stand up to foreign competitors. He wasn't offering complex economic modeling. He was making an emotional appeal to voters who felt their way of life was under siege. In both Brexit and Trump's victory, the playbook was executed flawlessly. Why does this playbook work so well? The answer lies in our psychology. Economic well-being isn't just about numbers on a spreadsheet. It's existential. Threats to our jobs, our savings, or our families trigger our most basic survival instincts. When we get scared, our brains react differently. The amygdala in our brain, actually here, emotional center, kicks into overdrive, short-circulating rational thought. A politician who triggers your fear can bypass critical analysis of their actual policies. It's no longer about who has the better tax plan. It's about who can protect you from the threat. This also creates what political psychologists call an in-group, out-group dynamic. Fear makes us seek safety in numbers. When a politician frames a problem as an attack on us by them, it strengthens our group identity and deepens our distrust of the other. This is why scapegoating is so effective. It taps into a primal need to know who is with us and who is against us, making a political choice feel like an act of self-defense. Fear also thrives on uncertainty. In a complex global economy, it's easy to feel powerless. A politician offering simple answers provides a sense of certainty and control that can be incredibly seductive. Even if the solutions are unrealistic, the confidence with which they are delivering is reassuring. A promise to take back control is an emotional balm for voters who feel the world spinning out of their grasp. Political strategists know that to get people on their side, they need an emotional rallying point, and fear and anger are the most powerful unifiers of all. This manipulation of fear leads to deep social division, poor policy decisions, and a dangerous erosion of trust in our democratic institutions. The first step to defending against it is to recognize it. If you are finding this analysis valuable, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to join us as we continue to deconstruct the forces shaping our world. And let me know in the comments below, have you seen this playbook in action in your country? So there it is, the playbook in its entirety. Step 1. Manufacture a crisis with apocalyptic language and cherry-picked data. Step number 2. Assign blame by creating a simple, easy-to-hate scapegoat. And step 3. Present yourself as the lone savior with a powerful slogan. This isn't a strategy to solve economic problems. It's a strategy to win power. The goal isn't to fix the economy. It's to make you feel afraid because that's how you get votes. It works by bypassing rational debate and hitting our deepest emotional triggers. But once you know the playbook, you can't unsee it. When you hear a politician using catastrophic language or blaming an entire group for a complex problem, you will recognize the move. You will be better equipped to ask critical questions, look for the data they are ignoring, and tell the difference between a genuine plan and a calculated appeal to your fear. Being aware of the strategy is the very first step toward neutralizing its power. See you all next week. Bye-bye.